Hey everyone. You know I'm a hiker, and I know a lot of you are too. And I bet some of you are dealing with plantar fasciitis pain. So that's what we're diving deep into today. We've got a ton of research articles, expert opinions, all about how to deal with plantar fasciitis, especially for us hikers. We'll be talking about everything from what causes it to how to choose the right footwear and some tips to get you back on the trail. And get this, 1 in 10 people have plantar fasciitis. So if you're feeling that stabbing pain in your heel, you are not alone.
That's right. And for hikers like you, the constant pounding on the trails, especially if you don't have the right shoes, it can really make things worse.
So let's start with the basics. What exactly is plantar fasciitis? It's basically inflammation of that thick banded tissue on the bottom of your foot, right?
Exactly. That's the plantar fascia. It's like a tough cord that supports your arch. When it gets inflamed, it causes that sharp pain, especially when you first get up in the morning or after you've been sitting for a while.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. And I can only imagine how much worse it must be after a long hike.
You're right. Hiking puts a lot of stress on the plantar fascia, so one of the most important things you can do is wear the right shoes.
So finding the right hiking boots is crucial, not just for comfort, but for actually helping to heal the plantar fasciitis. What should we be looking for?
Think of your boots as your first line of defense against plantar fasciitis. You want boots with good arch support to help distribute your weight evenly and reduce strain on the fascia. And don't forget, cushioning is essential to absorb the impact of each step, especially on rocky terrain.
That makes sense. But with so many options out there, are there any specific boots that you'd recommend?
Absolutely. For women, the Orthofeet Alma hiking boot is a great option. It has a wide toe box, which is important for anyone with bunions or who just needs extra space for their toes. It also has a removable cushioned insole, so you can add custom orthotics if you need them.
Orthotics. Tell me more about those.
They're basically like custom-made inserts for your shoes.
Yeah.
They can help correct any problems with the way your foot is aligned, and that can make a big difference in reducing plantar fasciitis pain.
So they're not just extra padding, they actually help to improve how you walk.
Exactly. They can be a bit pricey, but they can be really effective for some people.
Definitely something worth looking into. And what about for the guys? Are there any specific boots you'd recommend for men?
The Epis 97032L is a great choice. It has excellent ankle support, a really durable outsole, and like the Alma, it's deep enough to accommodate custom orthotics if needed.
These boots sound amazing. I could just imagine how supportive they must feel.
hmm
But even with the best footwear, I'm guessing there's more we can do to prepare our feet for the trails, right?
Absolutely. You've got your external support with your boots, but you also need to think about internal support. Stretching is crucial for keeping the muscles and fascia in your feet and legs loose and flexible.
Okay, so what kind of stretches are we talking about?
Well, there's one called a towel toe curl. That might sound a little strange, but it's actually really effective. You basically sit with your legs straight out in front of you and put a towel under your toes. Then you use your toes to scrunch up the towel. It's great for strengthening the muscles in your feet and improving the flexibility of your plantar fascia.
I'm picturing it now. It does sound kind of oddly satisfying.
Yeah.
Are there any other pre-hike stretches we should be doing?
Definitely, calf stretches are super important because tight calf muscles can actually pull on the plantar fascia and make the pain worse. So find a wall or a tree, lean into it with one leg straight back and your heel on the ground, and hold that stretch for about 30 seconds.
So it's all about prepping those muscles and getting them ready for action. We're giving our feet support, both inside and out.
Hmm.
And what about things we should be packing in our backpacks to keep our feet happy on the trail?
Well, one thing you should definitely pack is a pair of compression socks. They can help support your arches and improve blood circulation, which can help reduce inflammation.
I've heard those are good for all sorts of things, like running and flying. I never thought about using them for hiking, though.
Yeah, they're a great addition to any hiker's pack, especially if you're dealing with plantar fasciitis. And speaking of things to pack, you might want to consider bringing a small massage ball.
Oh, like one of those spiky ones. Do those actually work?
They can be really helpful. Just a few minutes of rolling your foot over a massage ball can really help release tension in the plantar fascia and the surrounding muscles. If you don't like the spiky ones, you can even use a smooth water bottle or a tennis ball.
So it's like a mini foot massage on the go. That's a great tip. What about blisters? I always seem to get those even on short hikes.
Blisters are definitely no fun, and they can make your plantar fasciitis worse. So make sure you pack some blister pads or moleskin and apply them to any areas where you tend to get hot spots. And of course, wearing moisture-wicking socks that fit well is really important too.
It's all about being prepared. So we've got our boots, our stretches, and our packing list all set. But what about when you're actually out on the trail and you start to feel that pain coming on?
Even if you do everything right, you might still experience some discomfort, especially when you're first starting to manage your plantar fasciitis. One thing that can really help is paying attention to how you're placing your foot when you walk.
You mean like how I'm actually walking can affect my plantar fasciitis?
Absolutely. The research shows that landing midfoot instead of on your heel can really make a difference. It helps to distribute the impact more evenly and puts less stress on the plantar fascia.
Huh, interesting. I'm usually a heel striker, so should we be taking shorter strides too?
Yeah, shorter strides can definitely help, especially when you're going uphill or on uneven terrain. It gives you more control and puts less stress on your feet.
I'm starting to see how all these little adjustments can really add up. What about hiking poles? I see a lot of people using those. Are they helpful for plantar fasciitis?
Hiking poles are great for plantar fasciitis. They help to take some of the weight off your feet, which can be a huge relief, especially on long or difficult hikes.
That makes sense. I can definitely see the benefits of those. But sometimes you just need to take a break, right?
Absolutely. Rest breaks are crucial. Whenever you start to feel any pain, find a nice spot, take your boots off, elevate your feet if you can, and just give those muscles a chance to relax. Even a few minutes can make a big difference.
Ah, that sounds so nice. A
Well,
little break with a view?
hmm.
What about stretching during those breaks?
Yeah, some gentle stretches can be really helpful. Calf stretches, toe curls, ankle rotations, anything to keep those muscles loose and prevent them from tightening up.
So it's all about listening to your body, taking breaks when you need them, and being mindful of how you're moving on the trail.
Yeah.
But the recovery process doesn't end when the hike is over.
Does it? You got it. Post-hike recovery is just as important as pre-hike preparation. Think of it as a way to pamper your feet after they've worked so hard for you.
Okay, so what does that involve? More stretching?
Stretching is definitely a good idea. But there are some other cool-down techniques that can be really beneficial too.
Like what? I'm all ears.
One of the simplest and most effective things you can do is roll your foot over a frozen water bottle.
Wait, a frozen water bottle.
Yep. It sounds weird, but the cold helps to reduce inflammation and numb any pain. Just roll your foot back and forth over the bottle for about 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay, that actually sounds pretty amazing, especially on a hot day. What about those massage balls we packed? Can we use those too?
For sure, massage balls, foam rollers for your calf, even just a good foot rub with your hands,
Yeah.
all of those can help to loosen up those muscles and promote blood flow to the area.
It's like a spa day for your feet.
Mm.
I love it. So we've prepped, we've hiked, we've pampered our feet. What's next in our journey to conquer plantar fasciitis?
Well, this is where the idea of gradual progression comes in. It's all about building up your hiking endurance slowly and steadily without pushing yourself too hard too soon.
I'm sensing a theme here. Patience is key when it comes to dealing with plantar fasciitis. So what does a gradual progression plan actually look like?
The research suggests starting with short, easy walks on flat ground, maybe just 15 or 30 minutes to begin with.
Okay, that seems doable even for someone who's in a lot of pain.
Right. The key is to gradually increase the distance and difficulty of your hikes each week, but by no more than 10%.
So baby steps, literally.
Exactly. And it's super important to listen to your body, take rest days when you need them, and consider incorporating other low-impact activities like swimming or biking.
That cross-training aspect is important, right? It helps you stay active without putting too much stress on your feet.
Definitely. It's all about finding that balance. We've talked a lot about how to manage plantar fasciitis and get back to hiking. But let's be real, there might be times when traditional hiking is just too much, especially in the beginning. So what are some other things we can do to enjoy the outdoors without aggravating our plantar fasciitis?
That's a great question because we don't want to just stay cooped up inside, right?
Right, we just have to be a little more strategic about the kinds of adventures we choose.
So what are some good low-impact hiking options?
Well, paved trails or boardwalks are a good choice. Because the surface is nice and smooth, it's a lot easier on your feet than rocky trails.
Yeah, I love a good boardwalk stroll. What about beach walks? I've always found walking on sand to be pretty gentle.
Yeah, walking on the hard-packed sand near the water can be a good option. You just want to be careful about the soft, uneven sand because that can actually put more stress on your feet.
So it's all about choosing our adventures wisely. What about other activities we can do while we're letting our feet rest up from hiking?
Well, swimming is always a good option. It's totally non-weight bearing, so it gives your feet a complete break.
Oh, I love swimming.
Well,
So relaxing. What about biking? Is that okay for plantar fasciitis?
Yeah, biking can be okay. As long as your bike is properly fitted and your seat is at the right height, you don't want to be putting too much pressure on the balls of your feet when you pedal.
So even if we have to take a break from our usual hiking routine, there are still plenty of ways to stay active and enjoy the outdoors.
Definitely. It's all about finding activities that you enjoy and that don't make your pain worse. And of course, if you're doing everything right and you're still not seeing any improvement in your pain, it's important to see a doctor or a physical therapist.
Right, because sometimes you need professional help to get things back on track. So when should we consider making that appointment?
Well, if your pain isn't getting any better after a few weeks of home treatment, or if it's starting to spread, or if it's interfering with your daily life, then it's definitely time to see a professional.
And they might recommend custom orthotics, right? Those special inserts we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. They can assess your feet and see if orthotics would be helpful for you.
So they can give you that extra support and maybe even correct any underlying problems with the way your feet are aligned.
Right. But even if you do get orthotics, it's still important to maintain good foot care habits and all those other strategies we talked about.
So it's a combination of professional care and self-care.
Exactly.
Well, this has been a really informative deep dive. One of the things that I'm taking away from this is that plantar fasciitis doesn't have to be the end of our hiking days.
Absolutely. With the right approach, you can manage your pain and get back to doing the things you love.
So as we wrap things up, I want to leave you with this. What's the first step you're going to take to get back on the trail?
Are you going to invest in a new pair of supportive hiking boots? Start a regular stretching routine? Maybe explore some of those low-impact trails we talked about?
Whatever it is, take that first step and know that you have the power to overcome this challenge and get back to enjoying the great outdoors. Thanks for joining us and happy trails, everyone.